So the question is, why does the Pokemon world always deal with some form of end of the world scenario? And why is it the people who cause the end of the world scenario always get thwarted by some goofy ass 10-year-old kid? Where are the authorities? Are they non-existent, or do they just not care about the well-being of the citizens? Well, I can answer that for you. It's just a game. A game for children, so it makes sense that the protagonist is going to be a child, even though it doesn't make sense that the child has to deal with Taliban-level terrorists. And I understand that, but I always want to see more of a realistic version of the Pokemon world. Pokemon Cops is a ROM hack created by Crystal that fits the bill of realism by introducing actual cops, corruption, and lunatics. In this universe, you play what I'm just going to assume is a child who wants to join the police force. They were seen to have main character energy and quickly became a police officer, busting criminals and terrorist cells until they, for some reason, became a police chief. It certainly is a more realistic view of the Pokemon world, relatively speaking. We are talking about a world where people use animals to fight, so... You have three choices for starters: Aron, Carvanha, and Zangoose. Definitely three powerhouses in their own right. I think Zangoose was a little bit too broken just because it learned Swords Dance at level 10, and so far from what I've seen, it was able to sweep quite literally everything that crossed its path. Maybe Mightyena could have been a better option just because it has Intimidate and it is a dog. Actually, I think it makes more sense that the starters should be Growlithe, Poochyena, and Electrike just because they are all three dogs. Change the Dark-type move attack properties from being, hey, you're all special attack, to, hey, only some of you are special attack, the rest of you can be physical attack, because that just generally makes more sense. Just because you start off with a complementary Growlithe as well, so you pretty much have two strong Pokemon to start off with, and the Growlithe has Charcoal. Also, you're able to find TMs all throughout the world, so it makes the game a lot easier, I think, my opinion. Actually, I want to change that answer. There were difficult battles. I think the most memorable, in my opinion, is the fact that I've dealt with like 4 Wobbuffets mandatory. Also, in the Weather Institute, I remember fighting Brennan with his Wobbuffet and then immediately fighting Norman, his dad. That kind of sucked because I didn't get healed in between battles. But yeah, the game is relatively easy. There are some difficult battles along the way. Also, the game focuses on very heavy topics. Again, you are a cop in the story and balances it out with humor so you don't constantly have this weird pit in your stomach as you play. Also, the 3 main protagonists of Emerald are criminals, with Brennan being a drug maniac, May being a murderous maniac, and Wally being a douchebag. You also face Team Magma and Aqua, and they have their own motivation, which is a lot for a rookie. But again, this is just a game. But I don't want to spoil the story too much. It's very engaging in my opinion. It wasn't too edgy or cringy like. The game, again, it wasn't too difficult. I don't think there's a really big balance issue. Maybe the Zangoose made the game a lot easier, but there were still some challenging fights even with my Zangoose. Also, there is no fishing. I believe the exact quote was, "Fishing is hate, fishing is death." And yeah, that's my Pokemon Cops review. Follow my socials or whatever the influencers say. Ugh.